Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today is all about Universal tips and tricks. I went back in June of this year with my husband for our wedding anniversary, and I'm just wanting to pass along some tips and tricks that I found out that if it's your first time going, then maybe it'll make it a better trip. If it's not your first time going, maybe things that changed that you didn't know, you haven't been back in a while. So I just wanted to pass these tips and tricks along, so maybe it'll make your trip a lot better. The first thing is, when you are planning, make sure you stay at a Universal Studios resort. They have several. Me and my husband stayed at the Dockside one, which was awesome. And when you stay at a resort, at the Universal Studios, they will give you 1 hour prior to everyone else coming in. So the resort guests get in 1 hour prior to the general public. So if you want to get that, nicely shot with nobody in Diagon Alley or Hogsmeade, or get a picture of the dragon blowing its fire, that would be the time to go and run and get that shot before everybody just crowds in there. And that was a nice thing. Now, if you stay at the more expensive resorts, you get the express pass. Now, we didn't stay at one of the more expensive ones just because it was our first time, and we picked that one. But it was nice anyway to be able to get in there first thing before everybody else got in there, and got to look around before the crowds just got too hectic. Also, when you are planning this trip, if you yourself, your children, anybody in your family that is going with you is a huge Harry Potter fan like me, make sure you get the park-to-park pass. Otherwise, it will not allow you to ride the Hogwarts Express. Now, the Hogwarts Express is the train ride that goes from Hogsmeade to Diagon Alley and back and forth. Now, if you don't have that, they will turn you away. A lot of people got turned away from that particular train ride when me and my husband went. They do scan your ticket. So if it doesn't pop up that you got park-to-park, they will tell you, I'm sorry, you can't ride it. So make sure you have the park-to-park pass. And if you've already got your tickets, you can always call Universal or your travel agency, whoever you book through, and just say, hey, I'd like to add the park-to-park pass. Now, it is a little bit more, but it is so worth it. I promise you, it's so much worth it. And like I said, a lot of people thought it was just like an attraction and didn't realize you actually had to have a certain pass, but it's called the park-to-park pass. So make sure you have that if you want to ride the Hogwarts Express. And that goes back and forth. So it doesn't matter if you're in the Universal side and you want to go to Islands of Adventure or Islands of Adventure back to Universal. You still have to have that park-to-park pass. Otherwise, you'll be walking, and that's a long walk. And in June, I don't want to do that. I'd rather be in some air conditioner. Also, if you love butterbeer as much as I do, just know that it is $7 each, whether or not you get a hot, cold, or frozen. Now, honestly, the frozen was the best for me. I did try it cold. I wasn't really a huge fan of it, but I did try it just to see the difference. But the frozen, you never can go wrong, especially on a very hot June day. Now, if you also like the castle show, it is only for selective nights. There are some nights that they don't do it. It just depends on when you go. So always, if you're not sure, you can always ask one of the park people that are working in the park. Just say, hey, do you know? Also, when you're walking through the park, they have these big monitors that will tell you, the castle show is on tonight, or only on selective nights, and kind of gives you some information. Also, if you want to know about a ride, the Universal Studios app is free to download, but it will become your best friend. So it not only tells you when something's going on, it tells you how long the wait is for a ride. So maybe you can plan your day out a little bit better. Like if one ride is a little bit slower than the other, you can go to that one first and back and forth. But it also tells you if the castle show is going to come on tonight or not. So then that way you can kind of make a decision whether or not you need to stay in the park or you can go back to the hotel. Also, every resort has a Universal Studios store in it. Also, there's a Universal Studios store in City Walk. So if you get out of the park and say it's your last night and you forget, oh, I wanted that robe, or oh, I wanted that wand, or whatever the case might be, shirt, whatever, you can always go to that Universal Studios store and find that item. So they make it very easy to get your items if you forget it in the park and you can't get back, or say it's your last day. Also, when you go to the Leaky Cauldron, which me and my husband did not get to go this time, it is mobile ordering only. At the time that we went, it was mobile ordering only. So you had to pay through the Universal Studios app, and unfortunately me and my husband did not know how to do that, so we didn't go there. But just to give everyone a heads up, it is mobile ordering only. Now if you go to the Three Broomsticks, it is different. It is not mobile ordering only. I believe they do take mobile orders, but if you just go in there, you can get in. Now I will say this, if you can hold off on going to eat about 1 o'clock ish, I would do it. If you start at like 11, 12, it's going to be very difficult to get in just because of how long the wait can be. Now, also, if you are not that hungry, but you want to sample something like maybe the fish and chips, chicken, whatever, you can get a kids menu, something off the kids menu. You can get a kids meal. It's a lot cheaper. It's not as much, so maybe that's some tricks and tips that I can pass on to you to help you save some money there. Also, me and my husband got the Universal Studios cups. My mother-in-law found these, so we were able to just carry them. But on here, you buy these one time, and every time you go back to Universal, you can always use them. You will have to reactivate them. I think it's $11 each. But once you activate them, it stays the whole day. Now, I will tell you, if you go into the Wizarding World or the any part of the Wizarding World, whether it be Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley, you will not be able to fill these up. It's just in the Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure area that you can fill them up. So, and that's fine. You can fill them up and then go into the Universal Wizarding World part, and you'll just be just fine. But every day it's $11 more to activate them. But it is a great price, and it gets really hot during the summer. So, but if you don't want to pay that, that's understandable. You can bring collapsible water bottles, which actually me and my husband also did, and you can go to any of the concession stands and just say, hey, I'd like some water, and they will give you water for free. That doesn't cost you anything or anything, and it's so much worth getting if you can't afford the cups. Also, in the bathrooms at Hogsmeade, you will find a little treat. You will find Moaning Myrtle talking throughout the bathrooms. So that, I wasn't expecting that. I had to go to the restroom, and that is in the Hogsmeade part of the parks. And I was shocked because I kept hearing something, and I realized it was Moaning Myrtle. And I thought that was very, very cool that they had done that. Also, another tip that I can give y'all is, unfortunately for me, I was on an e-scooter when I went. I have plantar fasciitis in my feet, and it had got really, really bad when I went, and I could barely walk. So if you are on an e-scooter or any type of wheelchair or anything, just note that all of the flooring, the part is not level. There's bumps and everything, so just be aware of that, because when you're going along and you're hitting bumps, it can hurt your knees and stuff like that. But just be aware of it. And I wish somebody would have told me that when I went, just because it made it just a little bit more difficult. Now, if you have a child or someone that's in a wheelchair, stop by the guest office, and normally they'll give you like an express pass that you can use that will allow you to get closer to the front of the line. But now, if a ride is over 30 minutes long, the park people will just write down what time you're supposed to be back, and they'll push you further to the front of the line. And that really helped me and my husband. We weren't expecting to have to use that kind of thing, but because of my foot, we had to. But I just want to give y'all that tip right there, just in case you do have somebody in a wheelchair or stroller or anything like that. Also, most of the rides, if you are parents that have young children, they have what they call parent swap. So if you have a child that cannot go on that ride, but you're wanting to go on it, and your husband or vice versa is wanting to go on it, they do have what they call parent swap. So they have a room that you can, like one parent comes in, okay, I've rode the ride, then the next parent comes out and gets to ride the ride. So then that way the child always has one of the parents with them. And I think that's a great thing that they have, so the parents don't get to miss the rides that they want to ride just because their children can't go on them. So I hope these tips and tricks help you. If you have any questions or anything, please let me know, and I will try to answer them if I didn't go over it in this video. Maybe something else that you need to know about, just let me know in the comments down below, and I will answer them when I see them. So I hope y'all have a great day. Now I'm going Harry Potter hunting. I'm going to go try to find some more Harry Potter stuff for my collection, and if I find anything, I certainly will upload another video to let y'all see what I got. Y'all have a great day.